Good morning and welcome to Homepage, a public affairs feature of 93.7 K Country and Wind FM 92.5, 95.5, and 107.9. I'm Kathy Dugan, and my guest this morning is Jackie Johnson from Alachua County Public Schools. Hi, Jackie. How have you been?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Fantastic. It's so good to hear your voice. It's been a while.
It's been a weird time, hasn't it?
Hasn't it been crazy, insane?
Yeah.
I know that you're super busy, even with probably even more so with the distance learning going on.
Absolutely, yes. It has been much busier.
So tell me about how distance learning has been going in Alachua County.
Well, it's certainly been a different way of doing things for everyone. We're very proud of our teachers and staff who really had to turn on a dime to adjust their existing curriculum or really create whole new lesson plans for teaching. That's not an easy gig.
No.
It's not what anybody is used to, and for a lot of people, it's really not the ideal situation. So we do know that some families are struggling with it. Some are doing great. Mm-hmm. Others are struggling with it, no question about it. And I think if you take a look at all of the, it's been kind of interesting to see all the newspaper cartoons and internet memes and videos going around, and the basic theme seems to be that, wow, teaching is a lot harder than we realized it was.
Isn't that amazing? That's kind of like a blessing in disguise with this. If one good thing has come out of this entire pandemic, parents are really starting to understand just how important teachers are and just how much they do.
You're right. I think in some ways that may be a silver lining in this horrible mess. Is that people have kind of a newfound respect and appreciation, if they didn't already before, for how hard it is to teach students. So, we as a district have been doing our best to try to make that transition as smooth as possible with things like giving away devices. We've already given away more than 3,600 devices. We set up hotspots using our school buses, and so those are set up at 45 locations, 3 hours a day across the district, particularly in high-needs neighborhoods, so that families have access to high-speed internet. But really the key is communication.
Oh, absolutely.
With your teachers and with your school.
Now, what have been the biggest challenges that you have heard, maybe from the parents or the teachers?
There is no one issue. It is a variety of issues. It is families who are where the parents are out of the home and the children are at home. So you may have older children watching younger children. So there's not as much adult guidance there available at that home. That's an issue. A lack of devices, lack of internet service is certainly an issue. We have some parents who say, they would prefer that we just end all instruction now, which, of course, the governor says we're not allowed to do.
Right.
And you have other families saying we'd like more work for our kids. We'd like more enrichment services for our kids. So it really runs the gamut. And then we've got families who are essentially struggling to put food on the table, with job losses and everything else. And that's why we're so proud of what we've been able to do in terms of feeding kids since this all began.
Yeah, you got the grab-and-go meals going on for your students as well.
We do. We started that from the beginning. Last week, we passed the 500,000 meal mark. This week, we will probably pass 650,000 meals, if not more. We have 78 sites set up throughout Alachua County. Some are at schools, some are at community centers, some are actually at bus stops in high-needs neighborhoods. Within the limited number of buses and personnel that we have right now, we're constantly looking at adding sites. We just added another site yesterday because we heard there was a need there. Our food service staff have been absolutely amazing. As if giving out breakfast and lunch wasn't enough, they went the extra step of applying to the federal government so that they could give out breakfast and lunch over the weekends. Then they requested permission to give out produce at those schools that we were doing that during the regular school year. Now we're doing that at several of our sites, taking locally grown produce, bagging it up, and families at those 10 sites a week's worth of fresh produce. That was something that our food and nutrition staff didn't have to do. They went the extra mile to do that. They are looking at adding perhaps supper and snacks at some of those sites if we can get federal permission to do that. And they've expanded the menu so that a lot of the meals now are heat-up meals. They have really gone above and beyond the call of duty to provide even more meals and nutrition to children in Alachua County.
That's incredible because that shows that it's a love for the students, a love for the community as well, for them to do that.
Absolutely. They were not satisfied to do just the minimum. They continue to look for ways that they can reach more kids and provide more meals and provide even alternatives to meals. We're very proud of them and, of course, very proud of the bus drivers because they're a critical element in this. They are helping to get the meals out to where they need to be, and they're the ones taking those hot spots out into the neighborhoods as well. So we are, and, of course, we had the help of our instructional technology team. They had to work to get these hotspot buses equipped and ready to go. So it really has been a massive team effort for many of these initiatives.
It's incredible, though. It's amazing how people always say it takes a village to raise a child, and it's a saying that's been around a while, but it does. It does so much, and our village is stepping up at this time of need and doing whatever it takes to make sure that children and their families now are being taken care of during this pandemic. It's incredible.
And we've been so heartened by the businesses and organizations that have reached out to us to ask us how they can help. And that's everything from bottles of water to, help with devices, even helping us with recognizing our graduating seniors, which we're very excited about some of the things that we're going to be doing to honor the class of 2020, which has been through so much. So that has certainly been very heartening. We've had, all those places that are serving as host sites for the meals and for the hot spots, community centers, churches. We've just had wonderful community support for all of this.
And even the teachers themselves have been going out. They've been driving by students' houses, waving to them. They miss their kids so much as the kids miss them.
They really do, and one of the things I've gotten a kick out of is posting on our social media pages some of those creative messages that have come from schools and teachers. Not instruction. It's not about fractions or the daily writing prompt, just creative ways of sharing with the kids that they're thinking of them and that they miss them and that they want them to be strong and hang in there. And some of those have been very funny, and others are more kind of the things that you got to pull out a tissue because they're very moving. So that has certainly been one of the things that I enjoy most in all of this.
Oh, that is wonderful. It's got to be difficult, especially parents who are home and telecommuting, trying to deal with telecommuting for work, and on top of that, helping their children with their homework or with their schoolwork, actually, especially with the younger kids. I know that when my son was younger and he was in school, when he'd be home from school for any reason, it's really hard to get them to work in their own natural habitat. So hats off to the parents as well who are able to get these kids to do this. I mean, it's amazing.
Absolutely. One of the things we sort of talk about is they've essentially become co-teachers, which for a lot of them, that doesn't come naturally for them. But they've stepped up, and what we've tried to tell parents is it's stressful, but we're going to get through this. Try to be good to yourself, be good to your kids, and if you have questions, it is absolutely critical that you stay in touch with your teacher. If you're having trouble reaching out to your teacher, contact your school. Email your principal, call the school front office, because we still do have people in those school front offices. So communication, again, I can't stress that enough. It is absolutely critical. And teachers are doing their best to reach out to families. That's not always easy. We realize that families have unique situations that may make it harder for them to be there when a teacher calls or when a teacher emails. In some cases, we've actually, not just teachers have gone out to parents' homes, but in some cases we've actually had school resource officers going out to homes to try to reach families that for whatever reason we haven't heard from. So that is something that's just another strategy we have in our arsenal to try to reach out to as many of our families as possible.
With the bus Wi-Fi program, the school bus Wi-Fi program, and the grab-and-go meals, is there somewhere that people can go to find out where those locations are, how it can be accessed?
Absolutely. That's on our website. It's prominent on our website, which is sbac.edu. Easily accessible by your cell phone as well, and we have a map that shows the Wi-Fi hotspots and a list with a schedule. We have the same thing for our meal sites. We have a list of all the meal sites and the times that they're operating. For meals, families can also go directly to our food and nutrition website services, that is yourchoicefresh.com. That also has information, and that has regular updates on, new things we're doing. When we add sites, you can find them there. When the meals change, you can find a menu there, for example, at that website. So that's also a good one for families to have.
Fantastic. Now, graduations for 2020 seniors, it's got to be rough. I mean, you go to school all these years, and this is what you're looking forward to. I get to graduate. I get to wear my cap and gown. Everybody's going to see me graduate. How is that going to work with Alachua County students?
Right. The answer is we don't know just yet. As far as a formal graduation ceremony, we don't know just yet. This past week, we have been surveying the seniors themselves and their families and posing, if we have an option of doing it at, say, our usual sites, typically at the University of Florida, later in the summer, would you prefer that, or would you prefer that we do it earlier at a school district site? Understanding that whatever we do, we will have to be following, federal, state, and local orders that may be in place at that time in terms of social distancing, masks, all that kind of thing. We have just wrapped up a survey to see what the preferences are for the seniors and their families, and then we will determine what plans we want to make for that, sort of formal and, if possible, in-person graduation ceremony. We're also looking at some of the things that other districts are doing. Some are workable, some are not for us because we're a lot bigger than some of these other.
Well, yeah, Alachua County's huge.
Districts, yeah, comparatively speaking, we are, we're mid-sized here in Florida, but based on our population, we are huge compared to the vast majority of school districts in the country. But we're looking at the options. In the meantime, however, we are looking at some additional things that we can do to further honor the class of 2020, not to take the place of a graduation ceremony, but to further recognize our graduating seniors. And we're very excited about a few of the initiatives we have there. And one of them is something that the whole community could participate in. And if it's okay, I'd love to kind of make a pitch for that now, if I could.
Do it, please. Yes.
Great. One of the things that we would like to do is, graduations would normally be happening at the end of May. What we thought would be wonderful if between May 25th and, say, June 5th or June 6th, if we could ask everybody in Alachua County, businesses, organizations, families, individuals, whoever, if they have a business marquee, if they can put up a sign in their a window, if they could use shoe polish on their car, whatever it is, if they could send out just some sort of message of support for the class of 2020. Yard signs, put something up on your business marquee, and then take a picture of it, share it on social media. We would really love to blanket this community with visible messages of support for the class of 2020.
That would be fantastic. Now, I know Newberry School has already done something with their city hall, I believe. They've put up yard signs with students' pictures on them.
Yes, exactly. And they've had signs made up. That was a joint effort of the school and the city of Newberry, and they set those up on the City Hall property, which was absolutely wonderful. And we would love to see those kinds of messages everywhere in Alachua County.
Wouldn't that be beautiful to see?
We would be absolutely, heck, if you put a chalk message on a sidewalk, whatever it does,
Right.
that just raises awareness about, just a little extra love for the class of 2020. We're also working on a couple of other things that will involve videos that will air on TV and on social media and on our website, basically video graduations for each one of the schools. So we are working with a local TV station on doing that, and we are also working on a special insert in the Gainesville Sun that greatly expands and honors what the Gainesville Sun normally does, and we're very appreciative of both the Gainesville Sun, Florida Credit Union, Scorpio Construction, some other businesses that we've been working with to allow us to honor the class of 2020 in a special way, something that we don't normally that isn't normally done. But under the circumstances, we want to show that the class of 2020 some extra love this year.
Absolutely. And, this is going to be one graduation that they're never going to forget. This is something they'll be talking about, telling their kids about. The year that I graduated, we were trying to figure out what to do. We couldn't walk for graduation. We couldn't, or maybe not.
Yeah, they missed out on prom. They missed out on grad bash. There were so many things that they're missing out on. But you're right. The class of 2020, because of all of this, they'll always be special. They will always be special, and we're going to remember them.
National Teacher Appreciation Week begins tomorrow, and you have got a lot of events going on Monday through Friday.
Yes, and schools have had to be creative about that as well.
Right.
But for example, Newberry Elementary School, they've come up with a system where they are sending their teachers on sort of scavenger hunts using videos, music videos. They will start sending those videos out to teachers each morning during the Teacher Appreciation Week. And those videos will send teachers to special places for special things. And beyond that, I don't want to go because I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Ooh.
But that's just one example of the creative ways that schools are trying to reach out to teachers and let them know that they're appreciated, especially now.
Oh, gosh, yes. A lot of the teachers, too, have their children home with them while they're trying to teach other kids, so that's going to be really difficult for them.
Absolutely, or they have spouses at home who are now having to work from home. Mm-hmm. So, it's a challenge all the way around for everyone.
I just think that everybody's risen to the occasion so well. I mean, everything that I've heard coming out of our community has been so positive. I mean, from people helping each other, doing acts of kindness for no reason whatsoever, and just being good to each other in a time where a lot of people just really aren't sure. We're not sure where things are going now. It's great. Things are starting to open up again in some areas starting Monday. So we love that. Maybe the kids can get out and run around a little bit more. Beaches opening up maybe on the weekends, get them out there, get them on the beach, wear them out a little bit, and they'll be ready for school on Monday, raring to go. But it looks like you're going to be doing this distance learning for a while at least.
Yes, what the governor has told us is that schools will stay closed through the end of the school year, which for us is May 29th. But he's also made it very clear that distance learning continues until May 29th. And what we've heard from a lot of families is that, that structure is helpful. At least it gives the kids some sense of normal. Mm-hmm. But it's a different situation for different families, and we can't overlook that fact.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of mental health challenges going on too. It's a lot of togetherness that families aren't used to anymore. They're all there at the same time, all trying to maybe get online or whatever. And it gets a little rough there. And a lot of the younger kids don't even really understand what's going on.
Right. And we actually have let parents know. We directly, we sent messages directly to parents to let them know that if their child is having significant issues right now, that our school counselors are available. They will do video chats. They will do phone calls. So we ask parents, if your child is struggling emotionally to deal with this situation, please reach out to your child's school and they will get you connected with the counselor to help your child through that.
That's fantastic. They're there for you as well. I mean, so many people are stepping up right now. Now, are you actually at the schools right now? You're at
Yes.
work, so you go into
Yes.
work still. So it's still kind of normal for you a little bit.
Well, yes and no. And, a couple of people have said, well, with the kids not physically in school, I'm assuming it's fewer hours or less work for you all. It has been exactly the opposite.
I was just thinking that you're doing something. This is a learning curve for everybody. Nobody expected this. We weren't ready for this, and it's true. Nobody's fault. We just don't expect something like this to happen. So
right,
it's going to put in the extra hours.
And a big part of the job lately has been setting up those initiatives to try to make the transition smoother. So, obviously setting up the Wi-Fi hotspots, that was a massive logistical a job to get that done. All the work we're doing to recognize seniors, that's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. Getting devices out to families, getting food out to work. These are massive undertakings, and so they are taking a lot of additional work and a lot of additional hours, but it's worthwhile because whatever we can do to get kids and families through this crisis, that's what we want to do, because that's what Alachua County Public Schools is all about, is about the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are so appreciated. Even if you're not aware of how appreciated you are very, very appreciated for doing this. Everybody who's there, everybody who's at the schools, the school bus drivers going out, the food service workers, everybody. And on top of all of that, you got a little bit of good news recently. You got a grant for the school bus Wi-Fi program.
Yes, we did, from the Florida Education Foundation. So we were very grateful to receive. That's going to, contribute towards that program. We weren't waiting for the grant to make it happen. We got started right away, right after spring break, to get it together. But we certainly appreciate not just the financial support for the program, but also the recognition that the state foundation recognizes that this is something that's worthwhile and valuable.
It absolutely is. It's a wonderful program. Now, with the distance learning, okay, it goes through the 29th. They're going to school through the 29th. This is distance learning. What happens after that? Usually there are activities during the summer, things that schools do, summer school. How is that going to work?
We don't know just yet.
Okay.
That will depend on a lot of factors.
Okay.
It will depend on the course of the virus. It will depend on what CDC guidelines look like at the time. It will depend on what sort of state and even local orders are in place at the time. So there are a lot of factors that will go into that decision, and we just don't have all the answers just yet. So we are in constant communication with families, and I'm sure they're probably getting sick of my emails and phone calls and texts.
They probably appreciate it. They probably appreciate it very much, Jackie. I know that my son's 20 now, so he's out of school. But as a parent, I appreciate that constant communication, especially in a time like this. That's so uncertain. It's nothing we've ever dealt with before. So to be in that constant contact, it gives a sense of security. It makes a parent feel, for me, it would make me feel very secure knowing that my school, my child's school cares that much, that the district cares that much. They want us to feel comfortable. They want us to be able to help educate our children. So it means a lot to people.
Well, we hope so. And, one of the things, we did a telephone town hall last night.
Those are great.
Thursday night, for the first time in our history. Never done that before. Mm-hmm. But for an hour, our superintendent, deputy superintendent, some principals, our executive director for curriculum, they were all answering questions from mainly parents who called into that. And we'll be posting a video of that on our website, so parents can go to our website again at sbac.edu and see that. We have on our website a frequently asked questions page, commonly asked questions page, so that we're updating regularly. So we definitely want to direct people to our website with more information. But we will keep up the direct communication with families, both from the district level, from the school level, and from the teacher level. And we just want to make sure that parents are checking for those emails and phone calls. And if they're missing something, please feel free to reach out to the schools, because, again, we have wonderful front office staff and school administrators who are going into work every day so that parents can receive those services and the support that they need.
And, Jackie, can you give us that information one more time on where you can find about meals that are being served, grab and goes, as well as the school bus Wi-Fi program?
SBAC.edu, easily accessible by your cell phone as well, and we have a map that shows the Wi-Fi hotspots and a list with a schedule. We have the same thing for our meal sites. We have a list of all the meal sites and the times that they're operating. For meals, families can also go directly to a food and nutrition website services that is yourchoicefresh.com.
You guys are doing a great job. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Jackie, that maybe I didn't touch on?
There are so many things we'd like to share with parents, but I think the key thing is again, communication. But most of all, we want to tell them that, look, you're doing a great job. These are very stressful times. These are tough times. Reach out if you need help, and just be good to yourselves, be good to your kids, and above all, take care of yourselves, because we want everybody to come back safely whenever that happens.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Jackie. I appreciate your time today. And you've answered so many questions. You've given us a plethora of information, and it's so appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the opportunity to share.
My guest today has been Jackie Johnson, Public Information Officer for Alachua County Public Schools. Homepage is presented as a public affairs feature of 93.7 K Country and Wind FM 92.5, 95.5, and 107.9. Your comments are always welcome, and you can email me at homepage@ncfmgroup.com. You can also listen to Homepage by going to our websites at 937kcountry.com and windfm.com. I'm Kathy Dugan. Please join us again next Sunday for Homepage.